right. So, with just under a week, it's going to be, so it'll be around this time or a little bit later, depending. Right? Because it's the 8th today. So when they say early access the 14th for everyone, in Australia, what it means is the early hours on the 15th, right? So it's going to be around this time that the game may be unlocking and stuff like that. I really hope there's a preload. I really hope there's a preload. Please have a brain, right? But anyway, so this is about PC versus console, which platform you're going to get it on. And it was inspired because I saw this Max post, because somebody asked him, I'm not sure what to buy on PS5 or PC yet. Max responds, I'll get it on that platform. I kind of hate that statement. Whatever he says, I'll get. Now, it's nothing against Max. I love Max. He's fantastic, right? It's the sort of I struggle with when people have done it with me, right? And I'm only little, right? Well, not everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm only little. When people go, oh, what do you think? Oh, I'll take your advice. It's like, look, because I worry about that. Because then people can do something and then based on the advice of someone else and they go, oh, but you said it was going to be great. Right? That's why I struggle with it. Right? Max says PS5 is a safe bet. PC version is always a gamble you can't be sure of. Now, I'm going to push back on that a little bit. I do agree that obviously PS5 and Xbox Series X is going to be the safe bet. I don't know why I didn't mention Xbox Series X, because isn't it more powerful than PS5? Like why would it be worse? I don't know. Anyway, maybe that's a statement based on player base. I don't know. But again, this goes back to my rant I did about crossplay and things like that. Crossplay should be there on day one. So then we don't have to worry about buying it on a console because of populations. That thing should be a thing of the past. Everyone's either playing with a fight stick or a controller. It shouldn't matter. We're not like, unless some people, weird people out there use keyboard. I used to back in the day when we used to play, because it was the only option, playing like MK1 and 2 on MS-DOS, using the keyboard, you know. Anyway. Oh God, jeez, I'm old sometimes. Yes, sometimes, you know, but not later. Later I'll be younger. And right now I'm old, you know. Anyway. So, So yeah, I'm going to push back a little bit on that. So, MK9 seemed fine. I did buy MK9 later though. MK9 was sold on PC as a complete edition, so obviously it was, you know, we got at least some patches in, and then they had like a final patch. What was it, 1.07 I think it was, or something? Was it 1.07? MK10 was a disaster on launch. And that wasn't because of Q-Lock. High Voltage, which also did MK9, which is so weird, because MK9 was actually really good. Anyone that had connectivity issues when it came to playing online with MK9, it was the same issue done by NetherRealm on MK9 on console. So when my first foray into playing MK9 was on PS3, right? If being in Australia, the only other connected people that I could, you know, connect to without the game literally dropping out before we could even get to the, like, starting the fight was New Zealanders, right? So they changed, whatever they did, they must have changed their networking and stuff, their technology for MK11, because I've fought people, and short of it literally looking like a slideshow when the game is loading up to fight, yeah, I've had some lag, but ultimately I've had a wonderful experience with MK11 online. The game's crap, but as far as the connectivity goes, it's been really good, right? The port itself was really amazing because Q-Lock did it. And what happened with MK10, for whatever weird reason, High Voltage decided to allow us to download the game piecemeal, right? Because you know how on consoles now, it's like you put the disc in, you know what I mean, right? You put the disc in, and it instantly, like, you know, you press play, it instantly starts to install stuff, and then after a while you can actually play the game, but in the background it's still installing it. I think High Voltage had this weird idea that, oh, we'll just make it so that you can just download pieces. Pieces? Are you serious, bro? I got 2 characters in one stage. That was crap. right? We're all downloading. So this is a really small game at 4 GB. Oh, that's right, because you only gave us 2 characters and nothing else and a stage. Thank you. I'm so grateful. Thank you. You know, that's what I wanted. I wanted you literally like 1/5, you know, or a fifth of my bloody purchase. Thank you. Right? Anyway, it was an absolute disaster because then more pieces would download, but it wasn't the rest of the game. So eventually they got fired off the project. QLock came in and fixed it all up, and it was been perfect ever since. The connectivity issues, though, however, remained, but that's not a PC thing. That was what the technology they had for MK10 and MK9 thing. MK11 was different. Now, MK11 was a great port straight out of the gate, from top to toe. And in fact, later on, they actually patched in, for PC people, a 60 frames per second for menus and the crypt. I don't think console got it, because I can't say it. Anyway, right. But PC got that, and it's been really good. Like, it's been a wonderful port. I've bought Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5, Street Fighter 6, Tekken 7, Soul Calibur 6, all of these fighting games that I have bought in recent years, all the big name ones, including smaller ones like Persona 4, Arena Ultimax, Blaze Blue, the Blaze Blue series games, the tag version, whatever it's called. What was it, Blaze Blue Tag Battle or something? I don't know. Some of the Smash Bros type games, like Nickelodeon, Smash Stars, whatever the hell it's called. Right. What's the other one I'm thinking of? Grand Blue Fantasy Versus as well. That's great. All of them, perfect. Wonderful. Straight out of the gate. Excellent. Guilty Gear Strive, perfect. Not a problem. Everything runs amazing. Right? Now, if you don't take care of your PC, like, you know, like the people, if you don't bathe and you don't, you know, brush your teeth and eat well and stuff like that, you know, then that's no different to you managing a PC. If you look after your PC, don't visit 50 prawn sites and leave all the tabs open and get like 1,000 viruses. If you basically have a potato computer and then get the latest game and wonder why it doesn't run, you know, like it's on the PC. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a few more factors to think about when it comes to PC. But by and large, right, there's a reason why they have PC specs there. I've already covered it in a previous video. You can tweak that however you like. But ultimately, like, there's a couple of things that, like, I would advise to people. But please, don't let your resounding decision be based on what I say. I'm just a dude, right? I'm just like you. I'm no different to anyone else, okay? I'm just here representing the PC community for fighting games. No one else is doing it, it seems, but I'm going to do it because I love it, and the PC community is great for fighting games. It's growing, you know, year on year. It's awesome. So, you know, you get comments like this where I only have an Xbox, so I think I'm effed out of luck. And it's weird. It's like, why would you be? You got an Xbox, dude. You're going to be fine. It's no different. Series X and PS5 should be fine. He goes, Sony PC ports are generally very high quality. I sold my PS5 because of this. It's not a Sony game though. I agree with this statement. Sony ports from their PlayStation PC team are bellissimo. I think The Last of Us was a bit funny, but ultimately their PC ports have been amazing. Horizon Zero Dawn, Days Gone, all just brilliant. I'm just waiting for them to like announce like the new God of War Ragnarok or Gran Turismo for PC. I have no doubt they'll come, right? They're killing it, doing a wonderful job. But this isn't on Sony. This is a NetherRealm game, right? So they're going to be doing the direct port to consoles for PlayStation and Xbox, Nintendo Switch and PC. I don't know if QLock's doing Nintendo. They're definitely doing PC. I don't know if there's another developer for that. But either way, QLock as a port developer are amazing. Brilliant work. Truly, they do wonderful work. So I'm not worried personally, right? But I'm also aware of all the factors that can come in as to why a game may not run properly. It's got Denuvo. That can be an issue. You got an old PC. You got 50 prawn tabs open. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you've already got another game running. Like, there's a whole lot of different things that can factor in. You know, you could have hardware failures happening that you don't even realize until you get a game that might rely on something a little bit more heavily. So there's a lot of factors in there, and I know that because I've had to troubleshoot my PC and other people's PCs for a very long time now. And so to me, it's kind of natural to think about, oh, it could be this, and this, right? And I'm happy to help people. I really am. I've got Discord and stuff if people want to come in, if they get PC version and go, hey. But ultimately, the best source too is the Steam forum attached to the game. You can go in there in the discussion forum and say, hey, my game's running like crap. Is anyone else having this problem? I'm getting like 10 frames. You know, my system's a high-end PC with all these specs, right? So ultimately what I say to people is like, and this is, again, my rant about cross-platform. It should be there day one. It shouldn't be an issue when it comes to we'll go where the player base is. It shouldn't matter, right? Like this comment here, right? Yeah, PS5 will no doubt have the bigger player base and also Evo. I don't care about Evo. This is the amount of Fs I give for Evo. I don't give a crap about the competitive fighting scene. I know people do, and that's fine. I don't give a shit. I don't care at all. Not a slight, the amount of people that care about the fighting game in terms of Evo and stuff is the amount of people of widows on Twitter that think that they, the rest of the world should bow to them. It's 2%. Nobody cares, right? There's a big fighting game community, but that is different to the people that are actually interested in the actual wanting to go to these events and be a competitive fighter, right? Maybe it's growing, but ultimately, we should not be kowtowing our games and curating our games from these developers to them only listening to 2% of a gaming population. I hate that. I really do, right? So crossplay fixes the issue of population, okay? If your mates are on Xbox and you've got PlayStation, it shouldn't matter. You should just have it automatically, right? This is the issue. And maybe Warner Brothers, as somebody was saying to me, maybe they're doing it so they get more sales, so people buy all the different versions, and then they'll release crossplay later after they got their money. And that'd be crap. I wouldn't put it past them though, it is Warner Brothers, but that'd be crap. Right? So, anyway. Buy it where you feel most comfortable. Buy it where, most of the people you want to play with are, perhaps. That's all I'd say, because at the end of the day, it's your money and where you feel most comfortable playing your games, right? How many people may, on this advice, go, I better go buy a PS5 now, and they've got an Xbox Series X. No, dude, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine, right? If you've got a potato PC, you might want to upgrade to PC. But ultimately, if you're on PC, I don't own any modern console. I got an old PS3, right? I don't think I'll ever buy another console again. PC is just killing it with everything. And they're not going to detract from that. They're not going to go back. Like Microsoft and Sony, and they're not going to just suddenly stop. They're going to keep doing it because it's a huge amount of money that they make by putting their games on the PC platform, right? Every single game that has come out for PC has run perfectly, in my experience, right? So I haven't had an issue at all, okay? And that's the big names, all right? So it just depends on where you play your games. If all your friends are on PlayStation, and you can get on PlayStation naturally, and if that's the only console you got, do that. If you play an Xbox and all your friends are there and they're going to play it with you, or all your games are there, then do that. But if you got all three, then it really just comes down to, the added bonus of PC naturally is you're going to have more graphic options, right? Especially if your PC can handle it. You're going to have mod options. And this is the big one. PC doesn't have to pay to play online, right? I don't know if you guys realize that, but every single game on PC that has an online feature out of something, excluding something like Final Fantasy 14 or World of Warcraft, it's all free. When I play online on Mortal Kombat 11, I don't have to subscribe to access the rest of my game. Right, and that can be a big one. That can be a huge one. Now, the other thing too here, Mason says, I can't figure out PC settings to save my life. But they do have presets, bro. You can literally, like 99% of PC games, you can just go into the graphic settings and there'll be a preset, low, medium, high. Right? It's not hard. You don't have to micromanage it like a lot of us do. You can literally just choose a setting, save it, off you go. Right? So, obviously the high-end consoles are a safe bet. I do agree with Max on that. PC port, again, there's a few factors in there. The PC port could be great, but if you've got a crappy computer, then it's not the PC port's fault. It's the computer's, the hardware that's holding you back, right? Like this one, Kiske says, my MK11 on PC stopped working, but I still pre-ordered MK1 on PC. Starting to regret my decision. Why? MK11 stopped working on PC because maybe your Windows is failing and you need to reinstall. Maybe you need to refresh. Maybe you need to have it so that it corrects files, where you do like a system scan and get them to fix any files that may be actually hindering the experience. Maybe the hard drive is failing that you're playing it on. Maybe the graphics card is failing. Maybe you don't have the latest Windows updates, the latest graphics card updates. There's a whole bunch of things that can be an issue. And if you figure that one issue out, then the issue goes away and everything's running perfectly again, right? So this is what I mean. Like this is why I worry about people listening to what I say to a degree, right? When it comes to spending money, right? At the end of the day, please make the decision yourself, okay? I'm telling you what I'm doing for myself. I'm giving you all the variables, and then you make a choice for you, okay? The PC version is going to have graphic options that are going to, you know, that the console versions don't have. I like that. But most people don't care either, right? So, you know, there are things that I'm interested in, as well as, you know, obviously, you know, promoting the PC fighting game community on here as a channel as well. But that's me. That's not you, right? This sort of comment worries me, right? There's no reason whatsoever to think that it will just be a garbage port. But the good thing about PC, that if it is a garbage port, people will crack down massively on that, right? And developers will have to be very quick to fix it. They can't leave stuff like that long. That's the good thing about Steam and the reviews. Everyone that buys a game can review it and leave their review. And if it's suddenly and mostly negative, then, you know, they're going to have to listen, because those mostly negatives are probably also turning into mostly refunds, right? And people aren't just going to go out and buy a console and a game just because it's not running on PC. People are going to want their product that they paid for to run properly on PC if they haven't refunded it, right? And just to finalize, well, MK11 PC port wasn't a gamble. It worked great at launch and still does. That's right. QLock fixed MK10 and with an XL update. They ported Injustice 2 as well. They make solid ports. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, QLock's a beast, right? So, I don't know. I haven't followed them, right? Should follow them. There you go. Right. So, that's really good. They haven't really sort of come out and said much. You know, this is the thing, like, they're obviously doing the port. I'd love to hear, like, you know, I'd love to hear from them about the port. You know, what PC specific features are in there and all that sort of jazz. So I don't know, but somebody was mentioning too, someone in here about frame issues on PlayStation. Yeah, if you can ignore the -5 frames of input lag in the era of crossplay, then sure, PS5 is a safe bet. When GGST came out, I followed your advice and bought PS5 version of the game. The moment I tried a PC version, I sold my PS copy. The game felt way more responsive, and I'm not a fighting game nerd. So that's what I'm saying. Every person's experience is going to be different. There's no reason to think that the PC version won't be the superior version. But naturally, unfortunately, because there is so many PC variables out there, including all different combinations, then yeah, you do end up with a lot more sort of prominent in your face problems to a degree, because they're trying to, you know, they're trying to sort of deal with a certain subset of hardware specifications and trying to take everything in. And then, you know, that's why when it comes to PC, I'm very monogamous. I always go with NVIDIA and Intel, because yeah, AMD might be cheaper or this or that or whatever, more bang for your buck, but I get way less problems than AMD people, right? Because I go with what is mostly being curated. Like, you know, these companies are like, yeah, no, we need to make sure that we're targeting the biggest sellers, and it's always going to be Intel, it's always going to be NVIDIA, whether people like it or not. So in that instance, I always go with the flow, and I've never had a problem. ever. Ever. And I've been running Intel since the beginning. Never owned an AMD, never owned any sort of AMD graphics card or CPU, whatever. I've always stuck with that combination, and I've never had a problem. Ever. It's always been a game patch issue or some sort of like hardware failure, you know, because of, you know, time passed, like everything eventually, like, you know, fails. But as far as a combination and less issues straight out of the gate, it's always been Intel, Nvidia for me. Nintel, there we go. Nvidia, Intel, Nintel for me, right? I won't tell you the acronym for AMD, because I might get cancelled. Anyway, guys, I'll leave it there. Let me know what you think. Catch you next time.